hot. Oh, ni hao, everybody. Ni hao. Ni hao to you, Emil.
Ni hao.
Say hi.
Oh,
Ni hao.
there's millions streaming right now, which is
Millions streaming?
Yep.
Oh, should we get rid of what's up there? Or what should we have up there?
Just a little birdie.
Yeah, just a little birdie. Oh boy, folks. Man, should we pull up a bingo card and update the bingo card?
Yeah, 1 second.
Well, we've got it.
Yeah, we might as well, huh?
Did I predict a terrible? No. You have toothpaste on your Is that toothpaste on your sweatshirt? On the chest?
No, it's a rip.
Oh, that's cool. Damn, that looks good on you.
Well, before you thought it was toothpaste.
Yeah, but the rip doesn't look good on you. The sweatshirt does.
Oh, the sweatshirt does.
Man, I'm actually pretty cold.
It's quite old, this thing, and starting to go. That's just the way it goes sometimes, folks.
That actually reminds me of saying old.
Someone said Emil is looking yoked as fuck in that sweater. How do you look yoked in a sweater? There's no way I'm looking yoked as fuck in a sweater.
Folks, I've been told to tell you that you can now subscribe here on YouTube and do members only stuff. You can do emotes and stuff. Okay, let's pull up the bingo card. You have it?
I'm grabbing it right now.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw it. And I'm wearing a shirt from someone who sent it as part of our mail opening.
I have one as well.
6th Farm. It fits really well. It's actually very cozy, comfy.
Someone said, Emil, you ever seen Collateral? Of course. Unhinged Tom Cruise.
It's such a great movie.
Michael Mann,
yeah. Someone said bump up the mic levels. We're not going to do that. Check your YouTube player and make sure that the actual volume on it is up.
We're not going to do that.
Because, I assure you that we're up to, we're, someone said hateful.
I know.
Love that. All right, gang, we got a lot going on right now. RFK Jr., a ton of guys got confirmed.
Well, they just got their hearings.
Oh, they got their hearings. I mean, that's what I meant. And
and that's the thing. Someone tried to say, great.
Something Chinese is the free space.
Well, the free space means it's gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening over and over.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Elon Musk becomes that didn't happen yet. Cancel Kimmy, no. Bird flu, no.
That one kind of happened.
Boeing kills another guy, no, because that was not the fault of Boeing. Let's see.
It's only been 30 days. You gotta. Zuck did get hotter. I'll give him that.
Okay. Something Chinese. We've blocked it off. There we go. Boy, we had. Okay. Well, shit.
It's only been a month.
I know.
Yeah, but some of these, I'm like, they're not. I'm definitely the drones were obviously not searching for a dirty bomb, so they said.
It was also tongue in cheek.
Yeah, true. Man. All right.
I mean,
Vivek Ramaswamy arrested? Why did we put that in there?
It's just making jokes.
Jesus Christ.
Christ.
Well, technically, TikTok did get banned. So
yeah.
So there's one.
There's one.
Okay.
God. Oh, and hey, be sure to. We're also going to go live with Stock Twits today, as usual, at 1:30 Pacific. So if you're already here, you might as well tune in for that, I think. But I don't know what to. Should we start with the plane crash?
We might as well. That's first plane crash in what, 2 decades?
First plane crash since December 2009. I got to give a quick shout out to Gabriel and Evan, 2 different guys who were in my DMs. I know Gabriel is a pilot, and I think Evan is also, or Evan might have been in the service. What was Evan's deal? He's also a pilot. First of all, I definitely appreciate everybody wanting my take on it.
I love seeing is it sad that this just makes me think of Ben?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
they're joking, but it's
of course.
And you clearly have a fixation on plane crashes.
Well, I mean, I like learning about them.
I believe we have an episode called Ben's Favorite Plane Crashes or something.
And that's not to make light of what's just happened, because obviously it's a incredibly sad thing. And a lot of people, there were a bunch of young, like, figure skating prospect. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we tell everyone what happened? So a commercial plane.
Yeah, an American Airlines flight from Kansas City to Washington, D.C. was just on the final approach, a few hundred feet off the ground, when a United States Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with it, and both went into the Potomac. I think both went into the river, and everybody died.
No survivors.
No survivors. And someone else said it way more eloquently than I could off the top of my head here, but it just speaks to how divided the country is that we can't even fucking mourn as a country.
Dude, I made a joke, like literally, because I didn't think, I was like, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being whatever. We heard about it in the car, me and Sarah, and I literally turned to her and I was like, can't wait to find out DEI caused this or whatever, you know? And it was before there was any reaction to it because nothing had happened. Like, it just happened. And then a couple hours later, I was like, wait, what? They're doing the DEI thing?
Dude, Donald Trump.
We have a little clip. I think I put something in there of...
Did Jim,
if you
did
go
we
to-
give you the outline?
if
I need the outline.
Oh,
Yeah, okay,
hold
let
on.
me-
hold
I
on.
got it.
But if you go under the plane crash, there's one that says, because I have common sense, you can play that for
I mean, what a horse's ass.
Trump's
Just what an
response.
absolute pig-headed,
Also, I get perfect. Thank you.
narcissist fucking moron.
Elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that the systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have.
Today,
He really nails it. He hits diversity, and he lays a little smackdown on Biden. Really centering the whole thing on.
This is what's especially annoying to me about the current political discourse in general is, even if he has certain points that are valid, they're buried in all the other murky shit. From what I understand, we have a very outdated system that is flawed and needs to be revamped and brought into the modern age. This is nothing new. It's been talked about. It's
underfunded FAA. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all across the board in our government, but
Yeah.
they're not going to center that and how we need. I mean, this is the administration of Doge and the people who want to cut like $2 trillion and fucking do a federal funding freeze and all this fucking bullshit.
And they talk about, I just find it really funny and ironic and hypocritical, whatever word fits best, that their entire philosophy is a meritocracy. Get the best, most qualified people to do the job. Sure, I think I can agree with that mostly in principle. Meanwhile, the people that he's got at like the top levels of his own cabinet, he's got a Fox News host for the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, but he's a drunk. So
That's true. That could help.
he's a horrible drunk.
You've got fucking RFK Jr. as the
Potentially.
potential head of health and human services. You got the what's his name? Patel?
Kash Patel? Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
the psycho January 6th guy, kind of. I don't even know what his deal is, honestly. I should, but I'm just so exhausted and so checked out in so many ways.
Yeah, it is very exhausting. They're kind of blitzing everyone with all this stuff. I kind of think it's part of the you just can't. I think it is part of the strategy. You can't keep up with anything. By the time you're responding to anything, they're over here going, well, I don't know. We just we just decommissioned this very important thing. It's impossible to keep up. It's like even the federal funding freeze thing is a bit scary. I feel like that's one where he's really
Didn't it already end?
Yes, but it's already going to go to. I'm sure there's going to be court cases and possibly Supreme Court cases, and I do think he wants to like push these through, and get rulings on things with his favorable conservative Supreme Court, and really change the way Congress has power of the purse. I think he wants it. He wants to be able to make decisions about all this funding stuff. So he's basically like he's not allowed to do what he did with the federal funding freeze, right? If Congress appropriates funding, the executive branch has to release that funding, and he's not doing that. And I think he wants to change that. I think he wants. But that's the thing. There's so much going on, you know. So like everyone's like birthright citizenship, and you know if they get a win on that, people are like, yay, we saved democracy or whatever. And then like people aren't even paying attention to the fact that he just like changed how federal funding works and everything. And that's not to blame anyone. I mean, maybe the Democrats, it's fun to watch them do their thing and be like, this is fucked up. We're having an emergency meeting tomorrow. Like, okay.
We're going to have a cry-in about it.
Yeah.
We're all going to get together and cry about it.
But it's just it's impossible to keep up. The stuff they're doing to federal employees, it's like, I mean, if you even try to keep up with Trump 2.0, it's just, you're getting whiplash.
Yeah. So back on the crash, it is the first crash since December 2009. Yeah, there have been a lot of close calls. There have been a lot of near misses, mid-air collision things. Airplanes almost landing on a taxiway. I remember that one. And I'm just trying to get to the point that air travel is still very, very, very safe. We're flying in a few days. I'm not worried about it. I'm not thinking twice about it.
I don't think I'm worried about maybe the immediate future, but I am worried about just kind of, you know, the defunding of all of these things. I don't know, in the next like 5-10 years, I think Ken Klippenstein, anytime anything happens, he's always getting like insane tips. This one, we can probably pull it up. The tip from an airline pilot.
Oh, yeah. From Ken Klippenstein?
Yeah. I don't know if it's Steen or Stein, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but he's always got the best. But he basically said, "Hi, Ken. I'm a pilot and received this email from an airport manager about an issue that has been a growing problem for years in the Bay Area." And can you just click that one from tip from an airline pilot?
Oh, gotcha.
And pull up the images. Growing problem for years in the Bay Area and is now growing even worse. San Carlos Airport is an airport within 10 miles of San Francisco International Airport, and it will have no air traffic controllers starting on February 1st. The departure route for San Carlos directly overlaps the arrival path of San Francisco. San Carlos also hosts two of the area's largest flight schools. This means you now have a situation where inexperienced pilots will be departing into highly complex airspace using solely their own judgment and reading of charts so as to not collide with aircraft landing at San Francisco. This happened because the airport operates off an FAA contract for staff and controllers. Rather than the FAA directly providing controllers, the system has always been tenuous. It was previously not uncommon for the contractor to only provide a single controller for all traffic. There are recordings of YouTube of the tower needing to shut down because the controller had to use the bathroom and no one else was working. Now a new contractor has underbid the existing and decided to remove cost of living adjustments for staff. All controllers have left and the new contractor plans to operate the airport with no controllers. This means the pilots need to coordinate with each other instead. It goes on and on. It's just...
and that's just the one in San Carlos.
Yeah. It's definitely... Yeah, I don't know. This great age of defunding and efficiency is... I don't think there's a lot of care being taken for these very necessary...
Yeah, he goes on to say, I've been disturbed by the operation of contract towers ever since becoming a pilot. During the first Trump administration, I feared what privatization of all air traffic control would bring. I don't think that that's going to happen, hopefully. After Trump posted about air traffic control being at fault in last night's mid-air collision in D.C., I'm concerned they will use this as a springboard to push for more private towers. I write this to you to say that this will bring more safety risks and more people need to understand a real-life example of what chaos a contract tower can create when put in such busy and complicated airspace. I really just hope that what needs to be fixed will get fixed. And obviously,
We've got the man for the job.
the reports, from what I've read, there was one air traffic controller managing the helicopters and the planes landing, which is like too much. And I've been hearing things I haven't been able to verify, that a lot of air traffic control people are overworked because they're understaffed. And yeah, it's just really, things happen. And what these guys were telling me, Gabriel and Evan.
Things happen when you hire a black trans pilot.
Yeah. But oh, dude, I mean, this speaks to how it's fucking asinine to say that you are the media now on fucking X, because all sorts of misinformation before it's verified, if at all, just gets spread, and then buried deep within it gets debunked. There was one.
Oh, I mean, dude, the president is often spreading these things.
Well, one of them was that it was a trans woman piloting the helicopter, and it started to spread. I was seeing it last night, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" And then it turns out it's completely not true.
Yeah,
and that trans person is real and exists and is in the military. And they've got her today on like CNN, trotting her out there because she's got to say, "Yeah, it's me. I'm alive.
I didn't die.
I wasn't flying the helicopter." But so part of, obviously, in the NTSB did a press conference, and it was very it was nice to see this woman get up there and say, "Hey, we need time to it can take months for them to figure out what's going on. They've got to gather evidence. They've got to get testimony. They've got to look at data. They've got to listen to the black box recordings. They've got to read the black box data recording, and they got to just figure everything out. It's a puzzle." And in this day and age, because of the culture war bullshit, everything has to be viewed through the lens of the culture war bullshit. Right. Hence why Trump and everybody else is immediately going, "There it is. It's a fucking woman. It's a woman flying a plane. They can't do that. It's because they had a mandate to be diverse." And yeah, as it turns out, I mean, just the initial estimate, the initial guess, the best educated guess that not only did these two guys tell me, is that the helicopter pilots. First of all, there were 3 of them on the helicopter. All 3 were wearing night vision goggles, and apparently, night vision goggles, your field of view is limited to 40 degrees. So that's working against them right there. All 3 of them are they're in contact with one another. They're monitoring instruments. They're listening for radio chatter and trying to filter out what is and isn't important information. And then on top of that, yeah, they're flying within this airspace. And air traffic control apparently asked them if they had a visual on the airplane in question. And the prevailing kind of guess is that because they confirmed, yeah, we've got a visual on it. They were likely talking about another airplane, and they didn't see it. Not only that, but it's nighttime, obviously, and it can be hard to see and distinguish the airplane itself from the horizon and from the lights on the ground and buildings and stuff. So it just totally blends in. And then there's also the difficulty of like, I'm butchering it, but like relative motion. You can't really discern whether it's moving until it's just right in your face and it's too late. And that's probably what happened. That's my guess based on what I've read. Or it was a black trans pilot.
Yeah. Which one seems more likely to you?
And a handicapped, wheelchair-bound, gay air traffic controller.
Deaf as well.
Deaf, gay, blind. Yeah.
Paraplegic.
Paraplegic.
But we just have to give them the jobs.
And listen, okay, I have to say this as delicately as possible. It is it is a known thing and was well documented from the Obama era that there were 3,000 well-qualified applicants to become air traffic controllers who were just denied because they had an imperative to be more diverse. And like I get it, and I think that is something that should be strived toward. But I don't.
Wait, what do you mean, Obama?
During the Obama administration, the head of the FAA at the time's thing, they noticed that there were these 3,000 applicants who
That just weren't
that just weren't diverse enough for their liking.
So they weren't licensed to be pilots?
No, this is air traffic control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had questionnaires that they had to fill out that included like just asinine questions about like, were you, do you, I don't know, play sports, and were you like liked? And it was just
Were you liked in high school?
I think so. Yeah. Did FAA reject air traffic controllers based on race? Complaints about so let's see if I read and was hearing it on the radio correct. Let's scroll down. Scrutiny over FAA's policies. A major class action suit has been filed against the federal agency over claims that applications for air traffic controllers were rejected based on race. And I just, real fast, I don't give a fuck what color you are or what your fucking... I don't just.
All right, well, let's just see what happened. Yeah, Brigida. Well, that's the thing. I mean, this doesn't imply that they were letting less qualified, like people who were unqualified, do it because they were black and trans or whatever. It just might be that they had a. So Brigida, who is white and scored 100% on his training exam, said he was discriminated against. He's received an email informing him that the FAA was implementing changes to improve and streamline the hiring process. And he was impacted by these changes. Go down. Let's see what they were.
The FAA's biographical assessment was a screening tool used to assess applicants' behaviors and experiences. The test involved multiple choice questions on topics such as decision-making, handling pressure, and risk management. They dropped the biological assessment in 2018 in response to Congress passing a law banning its use. Okay. The FAA says on its website that the assessment was removed as a screening tool, and all applicants are now required to take the Air Traffic Skills Assessment, or ATSA. This guy, Andrew Big. So, would you call him the lead plaintiff?
I'd say so.
Yeah,
right?
But I don't understand. Where's the actual?
Yeah, where's
like,
the
what,
thing? What happens next? Okay,
we need to know what was in the. Well, this isn't helpful.
No, it's not. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I need to know what was.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
'Cause
see, and then it gets into this. It's like, okay, is that correct? Is that accurate? Where are you gonna?
The implication is that, like, from Trump and whoever is that, because of that, they're letting people who are unqualified do it. I don't think that is
just to satisfy, like, hey, we need a gay guy in here.
Right.
You want to direct traffic?
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, get your butt in there. And that's not the case, obviously. So
there very well may have been an initiative to have a more diverse workforce, but that doesn't mean they're unqualified. Christ.
Yeah, so I mean, it all boils down to accidents happen, and sometimes it's really just nobody's necessarily to blame. It just you have human error, and that's not.
It's probably so annoying being the guy tasked with figuring out what's going on, and you just have a Trump administration butting their nose in and being like, and
DEI.
Can we get a list of black people on board and gays?
Yeah. It really is driving me nuts because I saw people speculating not even that it was a trans woman but just a woman, and it's like, what is a woman doing flying a fucking helicopter? It blows my mind. It's really what are we doing? What are these people? They really just think that the only competency out there is
being a drunk white man.
Yeah.
I
mean, I do lock in behind the wheel, but I don't do that. Don't do that. people don't do that. But yeah, it really fucking blows. It's really sad that this happened, and God, I can't imagine.
I also hate. I mean, I hate talking about this. In this, it would be what I wish it would happen, and we could just talk about what happened.
Yeah.
We always have to talk about this fucking like reaction to it because it takes over the news.
It takes,
and some trans woman has to go on CNN and be like, "I'm actually alive," and we're like, "What? Why are we?"
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah. It really is like it's fucking crazy making that the leader of the country is not instead of going up there and doing what a good leader should do and address the tragedy and call for mourning, whatever, assuring everybody that the system as a whole is still very safe and that the country and the government are on it and are going to figure it out. He's so fucking fast and so immediate to blame it on and politicize it and make it into this fucking this specter of a thing that he and his cohorts have successfully made the they've successfully planted the seed in everybody's brain that whenever something goes wrong, your brain goes to, oh great, was it a fucking woman or a minority at the helm?
Yeah.
So that now we know that they're just, and then even if it's not fucking true, they've already flooded the discourse with so much misinformation that once the truth comes out, it doesn't even fucking matter. It's old news by then. Like with the trans pilot.
Right. They all moved on. They don't care.
They
If
don't
you
care
tried to
anymore.
tell
And the
someone-
effect has
Yeah.
already it's already taken its toll, which is that, yeah, they just, he's,
We just got a chat from somebody says, can't afford to commit to monthly sub because my Medicaid premiums are too high. Guess I should just switch to Medicare Advantage like RFK.
I mean, we might as well talk about some RFK. I mean, I think anyone who saw on the schedule that RFK's hearing was coming knew there was going to be some insane clips from it. Who knew we would get to see an appearance by Cheryl Hines every time it panned to him? Just
what a bummer that is.
I
man.
know. Just get out, Cheryl.
Yeah.
This man is a maniac. Did you see? I don't even want to bring it up because I don't know how accurate it is, but there was that new report about, because we've talked about how his first wife killed herself, and
Yeah.
he was just like, there was he had a book with all the
I had a diary of all the women
all
that,
the women he was
that
sleeping
I'd
with.
slept with and all the...
But there was some news story about how he would, yell at her and be like, "You made me polygamist or whatever."
You actually did this to me.
Whatever. What a
You
freak.
made me want to fuck everything that moves.
But yeah, where do we even start with this guy?
I love that he slipped us in. That's first and foremost, that he popped. He totally, God, he just, what is he? Does he look like a raisin? Like, I can't decide what he looks like.
Yeah, he does.
Boy, oh boy, has this man never heard of sunblock?
I'm sure he doesn't wear sunblock because he thinks
Well, because
there's-
it's full of toxic chemicals that disrupt your endocrine system.
Oh man,
he doesn't look great for a guy who's saying everyone.
How old is he?
That's a good question. I would say
How
he's like
old
in
is
his
RFK?
How
60s.
old is RFK Jr.? I'm gonna say 66, 71.
Okay, so
71.
maybe we got a little egg on our face. He looks younger
Yeah.
than
Man, don't you just hate having egg on your face? It won't come off.
yeah.
Get this egg off my face.
Maybe we start with the Michael Bennett one because that's like a good example of basically he kind of rapid fires at him, but basically it's this man. RFK Jr. is a yapper,
Yeah.
and the whole hearing is people going, "Did you say this fucking crazy thing?" And RFK was like,
No.
"Dude, no, I did not say that." And they're like, "Okay, I have a transcript."
Yeah. I actually just now, as you were talking, I found myself doing a sort of just a physical impression of him, and I was shaking like this, and I blinked my eyes like this, and I was like, "Whoa, what was I just doing?" Because he does that a lot. Anyway, yeah, let's play it.
Say that COVID-19 was a genetically engineered bioweapon that targets black and white people, but spared Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people.
I didn't say it was deliberately targeted. I just quoted an NIH-funded and NIH
published study.
Did you say that it targets black and white people but spared Ashkenazi Jews?
I quoted a
Chinese?
study, Your Honor. I quoted
So
an NIH study that showed that
I'll take that as a
certain
yes.
races
I have
are
to move on,
disproportionately.
I have to move on. Did you say that Lyme disease is highly likely a materially engineered bioweapon? I made sure I put in the highly likely. Did you say Lyme disease is a highly likely militarily engineered bioweapon?
I probably did say that.
I probably did say it.
I want all of our colleagues to hear it, Mr. Kennedy. I want them to hear it. You said yes.
Wait, pause it real
Did
fast.
you
He sounds like
Mr.
Mackey.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking.
Did you say that Lyme disease?
Well, he is from Colorado.
Did you say that Lyme disease was a manufactured bioweapon? Okay. Go ahead.
say that exposure to pesticides causes children to become transgender?
No, I never said that.
Okay, I have the record that I'll give to the chairman, and he can make his judgment about what you said. Did you write in your book, and it's undeniable, that African AIDS is an entirely different disease from Western AIDS? Yes or no, Mr. Kennedy?
I'm not sure if I made that.
Okay, I'll give it to the chairman, Mr. Kennedy. And my final question, did you say on a podcast, and I quote, "I wouldn't leave abortion, to the states. My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have the government involved."
All right, we can move on. It's so
That
long,
seems
but-
like a sensible.
Well, the thing
position.
he's trying to get him on is that he's now flip flopping. He's basically flip flopping on everything he said because he wants to get confirmed, and he also doesn't want to get in the bad graces of Trump. So he's being very careful about the things he's saying. The big one is the people are reading back his transcript from.
Those scripts are trans, though. They probably were exposed to
you can't trust them
pesticides.
because they're trans scripts. But the the big one is the Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman?
Friedman. God, I fucking can't stand Lex Friedman.
People brought this one up because it's he does clearly say Lex Friedman says, like, can you just because oh my god, I can't even keep up.
It's okay.
RFK Jr. basically does this thing where he says, I'm not anti-vax, I'm pro safe vaccines.
Yeah.
He always says, I'm not anti-vax, I'm not anti-vax. But so Lex finally says, okay, after talking to him for a while, can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
Yeah.
And he says, I think some of the live vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is safe and effective. In fact, and he's cut off by Lex Friedman.
Says, those are big words.
Right, exactly. We can play some of it. It is like he definitely was saying more.
Wait,
than,
I can read it.
Sure.
I can read it. Lex Friedman then says, "What about the polio? Let's start with." And he goes,
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Yeah, here's the problem. The polio vaccine.
I can't do it. I just can't do it.
People are
today."
asking for Emil to do the RFK.
I can't, there's no way. I just can't.
He said
do
the
it.
polio vaccine contained a virus called simian virus 40, SV40. It's one of the most carcinogenic materials that is known to man. In fact, it is used now by scientists around the world to induce tumors in rats and guinea pigs in labs. But it was in that vaccine, 98 million people who got that vaccine, and my generation got it. And now you've got this explosion of soft tissue cancers in our generation that killed many, many, many more people than polio ever did. So if you say to me, the polio vaccine, was it effective against polio? I'm going to say yes. And if you say to me, did it cause more death than avert? I would say, I don't know, because we don't have data on that. And then he goes on to say, the most popular vaccine in the world is the DTP vaccine, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. It was introduced in this country around 1980. That vaccine caused so many injuries that Wyeth, which was the manufacturer, said to the Reagan administration, "We are now paying $20 in downstream liabilities for every dollar that we're making in profits, and we are getting out of the business unless you give us permanent immunity from liability." And Reagan said at that time, "Why don't you just make the vaccine safe?" And why is that? Because vaccines are inherently unsafe. They said unavoidably unsafe. You cannot make them safe. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. You guys can look at it. He doesn't sound like someone who's pro-safe vaccine. He
Yeah.
sounds like someone who's saying there's no such thing as a safe and effective vaccine, and like they're inherently unsafe. It's very strange, and obviously people are coming to his defense. Bill Ackman,
Oh boy.
noted piece of shit.
Dude, and he's immediately on the, why did this plane crash? Doesn't it seem
Dude.
mysterious to you? Yeah, it's a fucking plane crash.
Yeah, 'cause you don't know shit, dick
Because we
fuck.
don't know anything yet, fucker.
And so Bill Ackman replies, Chuck Schumer says, to state the obvious, having a very wealthy anti-vaxxer running America's public health would put every single American in danger. RFK Jr. is a walking public health crisis waiting to happen. We've covered on the show, what was it? Was it in Samoa, where he basically
Forced the Samoans.
convinced some people after a human error, convinced them to not vaccinate. Hundreds of people died. He's risky, to say the least.
Yeah.
And Bill Ackman comes in and replies, and he's got such a big following. He's got 53,000 likes on this fucking reply. He is
So long, too.
Yeah, he is not an anti-vaxxer. You are slandering him. I am so disappointed in you. I have been a big supporter of yours for many years. The Democratic Party has lost its soul. And I'm sorry to say you are a big part of the reason. Whatever. It doesn't, you don't have to go on and on about this. But it's just, he doesn't seem like the most pro-vaccine guy. I think it's not a far cry from anti-vax. There's a very funny, we got to play the Bernie one. There's if you go.
Are you selling these onesies to
Yeah,
babies?
it's
It's the fourth one down.
Go to
Bernie and onesies.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy.
I think the gist of what you're trying to say today is you're really pro-vaccine, you want to ask questions. You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies.
I like
One
that he
of them
explains
is
it.
titled
This is
Fun Fact Unafraid. Next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way.
And how much they cost?
Next one is no vax, no problem. Now you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
That was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with
Are you
leadership.
supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science, and I want to
country's
protect.
a
But you
I'm
will
not
not
fucking
tell
clown
the
show.
organization you founded.
I
not
mean,
to
I like
continue.
Bernie, but also getting hung up on the onesies feels silly to me.
It doesn't feel that silly. It's clearly like that's his fucking
Merch, yeah.
and he stepped down a few months ago, obviously to avoid situations like this and be like, I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But to come in there and say, I'm pro-vax, I'm supportive of vaccines, and then have the organization that's selling
$26 onesies.
that say no vax, no problem, unvaxxed and loving it, or whatever the fuck it says.
You sell these T-shirts that say "whale killer" on your website, and yet you say you haven't killed a whale.
It's just like
The whale was already dead. I just took a chainsaw. And it
he's
was dead.
he's
I
just a
find these-
fucking weasel.
These confirmation hearings are so annoying because they'll be asked a pointed question and they will answer it in a roundabout way. Like the FBI guy, they asked him, "Hey, do you believe that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election?" Which is a valid question because it speaks to their whole belief umbrella that informs their entire belief system, rather. And the guy just goes, Joe Biden was confirmed as the president and was the president, and it's like that's not what we asked.
They asked in the vice presidential debates
JD Vance.
JD Vance to answer it too, and he's just like, he can't. He's like, I can't win here. I can't say yes, Joe Biden won the election without Trump literally getting rid of me tomorrow.
It's such a sad state of affairs, which is why we all we've got at the end of the day, folks, is one another.
It's true. These people are all freaks. They don't fucking care about you. They are absolute sickos. It's really sad to see what's gonna, maybe can you click that Trump care one? RFK talks a little bit about, what healthcare might look like.
President Trump
Yeah, 1 second.
is determined to end the hemorrhage of rural hospitals, and he's asked me to do that through use of AI, through telemedicine, which these are innovations that I saw the other day. A Cleveland clinic has developed an AI nurse that you cannot distinguish from a human being, that has diagnostics as good as any doctor.
Yeah, this is just.
Okay.
That's what we'll get. We'll get Trump care.
And
you get an AI nurse.
It isn't. Again, it's like we're all so close to being on the same page. I think everybody can get behind the fact that a lot of Americans suffer from things like diabetes and cancer and chronic illness. Like, we all agree that that's a problem that needs to be solved. Now, whether or not fucking RFK's method for going about that is the right method is where we all seem to fucking, I don't know. Is it really up? Is it it's just frustrating because it flies in the face of their whole, capitalism will solve it. Capitalism will figure it out. The free market. And it's that's how we got to this fucking place in the first place.
I don't think, if you go back, there's one also, this one really pissed me off because
if the cereal gives people cancer, they'll stop buying it.
If you go to the Medicaid one right above the telehealth thing, this pissed me off because I have personal experience with the program. So it's very quick.
Large do not like the Affordable Care Act.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. You play it.
People are on it. They don't like Medicaid. They like Medicare. And they like private insurance. We need to listen to what they would prefer to be on private insurance. Most Americans, if they can afford to be, will be on private insurance.
I mean, this is bullshit. The polling is like overwhelming. People supportive of a single payer, whatever that is, Medicare for all.
I want a married payer.
It's
not a single.
80% of Democrats, like 66% of independents, and then a good chunk of conservatives are supportive of it. Regardless, saying people love private healthcare is insane. We all saw what happened after Luigi. Allegedly, we don't know who did it. There was a huge outpouring of support. People couldn't have said meaner things about the private healthcare insurance industry. And then he talks about Medicare and Medicaid. He says people don't like Medicaid, they like Medicare. I think he was there was points where he was a little bit confused about the difference. Medicaid is one for low income people. Medicare is the one you get when you're older. Medicaid, when it's funded properly, and it was that was the best thing about the Affordable Care Act. They expanded the funding of Medicaid. I was on Medicaid in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It fucking rocked. It was so nice having government provided healthcare.
Now, was it that the government was paying private insurance on your behalf?
Yes, yes.
What was the?
I believe it was like they went through Blue Cross Blue Shield. This was like years ago.
Yeah. Was it an HMO? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it was basically what would happen is I could go to the doctor. If they said I needed things done, they would call for approval.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the doctor said like, yes, this is my recommendation, whatever. I never had anything denied. I had dental problems. It was horrible. It was embarrassing. I was in my 20s. I had 2 cracked teeth. I have 2 fake teeth.
Whoa. Folks.
Before I went on, and that's the thing. These people don't like them because they often don't get the help they need. I didn't even know I was eligible for it until someone helped me get on it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to someone told me about a dental clinic in the Bronx, and they were like, they might be able to help. I waited there all day, and they were like, we can pull your teeth. And I was like, dude, I don't want to be like, come on.
Hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no. And then I got on Medicaid. I got 2 fucking crowns.
Nice. Here you go, King.
And
Here's your crown, King.
It's just like, I don't think people who have been helped by these programs, I think it's insane to say that they don't like these programs.
Yum.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know what else to say. Should we save this algorithmic legislation thing for another time? Perhaps next week?
Save what?
The algorithmic legislation. Did you happen to see that?
No.
Maybe let's talk about it right now. Fuck it. Glenn sent me this. Glenn, we all know Glenn. This guy, Andrew Bailey, the Missouri Attorney General, in an effort, this was a press release just earlier this week from Jefferson City, Missouri. In an effort to protect free speech and safeguard consumers from censorship, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey announced he is issuing a regulation requiring big tech companies to offer algorithmic choice for social media users in Missouri, the first of its kind in the nation. It'll ensure big tech companies are transparent about the algorithms they use and offer Missouri consumers the option to select alternatives. Social media algorithms quietly control the newsfeed and content received by millions of users and have been used by tech companies to both censor speakers and manipulate the information they receive.
They're basically saying you have to make public how the algorithm works if you're going to operate in the country?
Yeah, and you get to choose. That would be fucking awesome. That seems like constructive legislation to me. So social media platforms.
Wait, what do you mean you get to choose though? You get to choose like what?
I don't know. Let's read. Social media platforms can satisfy the algorithmic choice requirements if, number one, users are provided with a choice screen upon account activation and at least every 6 months thereafter that gives them the opportunity to choose among competing content moderators. Number two, no selection is chosen by default. Number three, the choice screen does not favor the social media platform's content moderator over those of third parties. When a user chooses a content moderator other than that provided by the social media platform, the platform permits that content moderator interoperable access to data on the platform. What would these third-party...
Yeah, I don't know if I quite understand.
It sounds like people would be almost like how on Twitter it gives you the For You. On TikTok as well, it gives you the For You page, which is an algorithm, or the explicitly just who you're choosing to follow. But it sounds like they would give you multiple options about, like, I don't know. I can get it's on its face. It seems like a really nice. It seems like a nice idea that hopefully will lead to.
I mean, it would definitely be nice to have more information on how these algorithms work. I remember,
Yeah.
I think it might have been like a New York Times podcast where wasn't it called like Rabbit Hole or something? Do you remember that? It was basically, this was years ago. I think it was maybe 2019 or 2020. But it was them trying to figure out how the YouTube algorithm sends people down this kind of right-wing QAnon path.
Mm-hmm. Someone did a similar thing with TikTok. The algorithm has probably changed, but they created like 40 or 50 accounts and put that they were just like teenage boys, 40 accounts, and almost all of them within just a few hours, it was showing exclusively like sex and drugs stuff.
Weird.
This was years ago, but I think it was when we were on Trillionaire Mindset. I think we talked about it at a certain point. R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.B. The rabbit hole. What is the internet doing to us? The Times tech columnist Kevin Roose.
Oh, you found
I always
it.
get him confused with Kevin Rose.
I don't know who either of them
You
are.
don't know Kevin Rose? Kevin Rose. He's
the basketball player.
No, Kevin Rose. That's Kevin Love. Kevin Rose.
Oh, Derrick Rose and Kevin Love had a baby.
He's an entrepreneur, internet entrepreneur guy. He worked at Dig for a while.
Oh, put some respect on his name. He worked at Dig.
Dig, man, Dig. All right, folks. I think this is a good place to stop. Right?
Do you want to announce?
No, chat. If you want to ask a couple questions, throw them in now. Now is your time to ask a couple of questions for the.
Because we don't fudge it. Oh, and just a reminder, that in 35 minutes we will be going live on StockTwits to talk market shit. So we'd really appreciate it if you followed us over there. It's on the StockTwits YouTube and on Twitter.
Also, do you guys want to announce the next show?
The live show?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming to Portland. The link should be somewhere in the description or something.
That's Oregon, not Maine.
We'll put it in.
I love you're exasperated.
It's pinned.
Oh, great. It's pinned somewhere, and you can find it there. Emil, what are you reading? I'm actually reading this book called Humankind by that guy, Rutger Bregman, that Dutch guy.
It's about kindness.
It's interesting. I like it. I think people should check it out.
And I'm reading a book called Human Rude.
That's good. Severance. Did you watch last night?
I did not yet.
God
Don't
damn
fucking
it.
spoil it for me. What's
You
your
need
favorite?
to start watching on fucking Thursdays.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so I discovered speaking of how my house smells good, I hope it smells good. My rice cooker, I learned last night that you can just toss veggies in there.
Guys,
I chopped up a carrot. First of all, I went to the grocery store and they had just like single carrots, raw carrots, and I don't put them in a bag because I don't need a bag. I'm not trying to increase my amount of waste. Just toss them loosey-goosey into the basket. Anyway, chop up that carrot, some mushrooms, put it in the rice cooker, and I hit mixed on there. Baby, it cooks it all perfectly. And then all I had to do was cook up the elk meat. Yeah, I killed it.
Yeah.
What?
Just throwing in, yeah, and then all they did to do was the elk.
Yeah, well, you know, elk meat is a lot healthier than ground beef.
I also want to say, and I know this is probably going to get people doing it
We will
more
do
because
Canada.
they love doing whatever we say not to do.
Hmm.
Every time we announce a show, I always say there's more coming, and people are like, "Do this, shitty, do it." Oh, we're coming.
We're doing it. Fuck, it takes a while.
It's just we have so many obligations and stuff. We can't go on a full blown tour and just like announce a bunch at once. So we have to do it
Yeah.
like this piecemeal. We're coming. If you're that guy who's like, don't even bother because they're only going to New York. It's like, we're not. We're coming. I swear to fucking
Yeah,
God.
we're coming.
It's just, that's the way it's going to
We're
go.
coming. I'll be coming. Everyone will be coming.
Everyone's
We
coming.
announced this one and we're going to do another
We will
one.
do Canada.
Yeah,
We will do Canada.
we're gonna
It's most
come.
likely going to be Toronto or Vancouver.
So just chillax and just wait.
Yeah.
We'll come to you. But I also do appreciate the wanting to see us live.
Same,
It's,
of course.
we
Of course.
love.
We are not coming to Gary, Indiana.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. No.
we just do not.
Make Bobby shirts. Oh, Doug's getting a bath on Monday. I can't wait. He's going to be
What do you mean getting a
so-
bath?
Wait, why
He's
would you
getting
just
a
bathe
bath.
your dog?
Doug is getting a bath.
Why
Why
don't
is
you
that?
just bathe him?
What?
You're
Because I
bathing
don't
him?
want it dealing with drying him off is such a pain in the ass. I did it the first day I got him, and no matter how much you towel him off, you need a blow dryer, and you need to put him in one of those kennels that just blasts him with air, and then he can't move.
Someone is
I don't have that.
someone is flashing the Australian flag. At least I think that's the Australian
That is
flag,
awesome.
and not the New Zealand one because they're very close. But we are going to come to Australia. We're trying to plan it so I can go to the Australian Open at
Yeah.
the same time. It's
Maybe
gonna,
next year.
It's
'cause
gonna.
that's- is the Australian Open once a year?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Man, I don't know, man. There's so many opens, you know. Bobby Bathwater sale when? There's not going to be a Doug Bathwater sale. Sorry. You silly Billy. We did Chicago. We did the Midwest. We'll do Philly too, you know, just I don't know. Why does coffee make you poo? Don't know.
The stimulants.
Yeah, it's
Stimulants
probably the
make you
stimulants.
shit. That's why. That's why, you know what?
Beans.
That's the thing about cocaine. Everyone thinks it's like this like chic party drug and cool people are doing coke. They're all fucking shitting themselves.
Can I tell you something?
That's why they're all hanging out in the bathroom so long. It's not because they're doing lines. They do one line and then they have to shit.
Can I tell you
And
something?
it's also cut with all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, what?
You know how I famously have never done cocaine?
Uh-huh. You did it recently.
Yep.
Wow.
Tried it.
Why?
It was there, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll try it. I had a what you would call a bump.
Yeah.
I barely felt anything. It just made my nose and my throat go numb, and I was like, eh. And then I don't care. I don't care to try it again.
You got to do more.
Well,
Where'd you do it?
You gotta do more, dude.
where did I do it? At my friend's house.
Do I know them?
No.
That's why I don't like when he hangs out with people I don't know.
I'll tell
ends
you
up doing
after.
coke.
I'll tell you after because it was a fun group of people, and I was having a good time. Anyway, folks, please here I'm gonna drop it in the chat. YouTube.com/@StockTwits. We are gonna be going live again, donning our suits, and talking about. Let's see. Let's give them a little tease, shall we? What are we gonna be talking about? We got
Ben,
all
do a bump on the live stream.
We're going to be talking about Jerome Powell and his tiny little annoying butthole mouth. We got earnings, DeepSeek. We're going to be touching on that again. Some crypto shit. And yeah, man. It's going to be fun. So join us there, please. And I'm going to go pee and grab some coffee. So that's all I have to say.
We love you. Bye.
We love you very much. Goodbye. Thank you for joining us. Bye.